Welcome back to another episode of the Cannabis Community Insider. I am Penelope. I am your host this afternoon, and I'm very excited because I have some friends of mine that I actually know from New York State. They're with Flowered Wellness. I have David Deutsch and James Frisicaro. Frisicaro. See, I prepared on saying this, and I did say it wrong.
So actually, second time, it was perfect.
Okay, well, they're with Flowered Wellness in Orchard Park locally in New York State, but serving New York State medical patients. And they have a very nice full service medical consultation for cannabis. And I'm going to let them explain all that to you, and a concierge service, something we don't hear of too often. So, guys, I don't know who'd like to start, but I'd really like to know how you got involved in this and maybe your why behind, starting a service like this for people.
Yeah, well, maybe James can kind of start off a little bit on that note, and then I can kind of finish up a little bit and tell you a little bit more about the nitty gritty workings of it and the offerings specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. About 2018 in the summertime, my father and I went to Feel Right, and we had spoken with the guy behind the counter. My father disclosed that he has his license to certify patients for the medical marijuana program. And that was the first time that I'd heard him say that. So I'd been focusing some studies on my spare time of the cannabis industry and related stocks, Canadian companies. And so when he had told me that, in the knowledge that of the stocks, I started working with David that month, basically. And so just actually 2 months prior, and I told David. And so for the next 6 months, we just talked cannabis and stocks, and he invested in stocks and I invested in stocks, and we talked about my father's being able to certify. And so we were watching the industry. And then starting like January 2000, this was January 2018. That was 2017. This is January 2018. He was like, "Come on, let's do something. Let's start a business." And so for the next 2 months, he just nagged me every single week. "Come on, let's do something. Let's do something." And then so in sometime in February of 2018, my father and I went to the World Cannabis Health Conference, and that was beautiful. It really, really opened my eyes up and my father's eyes to the plant medicine, really the impact that cannabis can have on our community and our society in general. And so when I came back, my father and I came back from that conference, then David and I said, "Okay, let's do it." My father said he would give a little investment, and then we started the end of March, the last week of March 28th of 2018 is when we incorporated. And then
and then that's really where the concierge service was just like an early kind of idea that we started talking about. We're both hospitality guys. That's how we know each other. And one of the things that we wanted to bring to the medical marijuana program, especially in New York State, we see it locally. There's a huge gap. There's a gap in education. There's a gap in support services. There's a gap in just basic understanding of how the inner workings of the program go about. Better than anyone that there's a lot of issues with the New York State program. But there's also a lot of beautiful things, and it's come a long way just in the last 3 years that we've really been working and interacting with the program. So we wanted to bridge that gap. And that's really the concierge service is kind of built on that concept. How do we bridge the gap between the patient, their knowledge, what they have access to, and what the dispensaries are doing and offering with the products that they have. Our feeling on the subject is that the client or the patient of the program knows better than anyone what's going to work for them. So we're just here to help facilitate that through the service.
Yeah, because I know, personally, and hearing from so many patients across the state, they're sort of left on their own. They can get maybe certification, but it's pretty much through a stranger, and telemedicine, and they don't get any, guidance. So you can take them through each step and kind of guide them, or
Yeah, so our process starts this way. So usually somebody sees us or hears about us, we get, either a referral from a provider out in public, a referral from a current patient. We're working with other local businesses that might refer to us as well. However the person finds us, typically they're going to be filling out a form that we present through our website or in person, and that's like our initial greeting. It offers them some questions about the medical program if they're interested in it. We also offer a range of other services at our Wellness Collaborative in Orchard Park. So we have cannabis-infused skincare, massage therapy, Reiki. We do offer yoga as well. And then we're working on some other services in addition to the medical marijuana certifications and the Cannabis Concierge service. And we just recently added health coaching, actually, with Kelly Marr, who
yeah.
our first virtual partner, which we're really excited about.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a cannabis day spa.
That's it's evolving. Part of it is definitely going to evolve more into like that spa concept. We're working with a company called AJ's CBD Spa in New York. They're based here in our space, and they offer the spa services. And then with the massage therapist, we're collaborative. We have several businesses that operate in our space, and the whole basis of our company is to collaborate and work at every level as much as possible. We're small, but we're big at the same time.
Yes. Wow. And I don't know, the thing I really appreciate about you guys too is, cannabis as a whole, our endocannabinoid system is so extensive. It's our entire body's affecting. So you have this holistic effect, or, holistic approach as well, because there's so much involved between mindset, the body, the muscles relaxing, and, it's just, you've got it all. It seems to be pulling it together, and that networking to find the services that people need. I need to come.
We'd love to have you. And that's the thing is, we have these in-person services, which are phenomenal. Somebody obviously with skincare, massage therapy, Reiki, those are more in-person services that we offer. The Cannabis Concierge, the medical certifications can be done in other manners, and the health coaching even as well. So we offer a range of different services depending on where someone is located. And then we are, opening up our avenues into the product realm and working with hemp products and CBD. And and we've been able to bring our own product to market, which we're really excited about too. And now we're able to do e-commerce. So everything's been growing exponentially.
Falling into place, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Post-pandemic, things have started really kind of coming together for us, which is really nice,
Yeah, I don't know about you, but it seems like with the pandemic, we got forced online. We got forced to do things a lot more with virtual, but this way you can help somebody downstate as well as somebody near Buffalo, in person, right?
Absolutely. And people are really open to the virtual experiences now, or to be honest with you, we've seen a huge response with just people talking over the phone. We have a great conversation. Every time somebody is entering into the flowered wellness realm, let's say, they're going to probably speak to either James or myself at some point. Usually what we'll say is we'll introduce them to kind of the services that we offer, the different options, because depending on who the person is, we've got a lot of different things that we can offer. So we do get a lot of questions about the medical certifications. Typically, I will talk about the Cannabis Concierge service simply because it is a really good way to prepare yourself and then have some assistance throughout the entire process. That's really the goal of that. So it's broken down into different categories. There's a product consultation if somebody just strictly wants to talk about hemp and CBD products. We have the medical marijuana prep session. So that's specific to New York State. If you want to sit down and have a discussion in person or over the phone for a half-hour question and answer, and also a walkthrough of the entire process. And then that gets you set up for the actual initial consult with the certifier. And then once you get that done, then we facilitate everything. So if you do the medical marijuana prep session, we'll register you, we'll help you through that process, which, as you know, can be arduous depending on the person, the computer, the time of day. There's a lot of factors there. And then after the fact, we're really excited to introduce and offer a cannabis nurse that can actually work with the clients directly and the medical marijuana patients directly, talking to them about dosage and products that they're having access to and preferences and yeah, like so, and we really, that's the major difference with Flower Wellness and other like if you just want to focus on certifiers, for instance, when you access the certifier through us, you're accessing a bunch of other support services that are extremely beneficial, and the education and us, like we talk to everyone. So anybody that wants to ask questions or come into our space and just kind of understand a little bit better what their options are, that's what Flower Wellness is all about.
Yeah. And as much as we think we know about cannabis, it's constantly changing. And I know you keep up on the education end too, and can, help these patients along. I really wanted to take a moment and use this for some updates about the state as well. So, if our listeners don't know, we'll fill them in real quick. Our program in New York State is getting an overhaul. We have gone to adult use legalization in New York State. Things are slowly, turning over to where they're going to take effect. But previously, we didn't even have flower in our program, really. We had some ground flower that they were allowing. We did tinctures, just ratios, no profiles. And, tell me what is changing and, how is this going to affect your program? And, people who may be introduced to the medical program in New York State, even some of your clients, they were only used to maybe this ratio tinctures, and now they're going to have a whole world placed in front of them that might be kind of confusing. So
you've hit the nail right on the head. And most of the clients that are coming into our space that end up interested in the medical program, I wouldn't say they're novices, but they're definitely less experienced with different products and different delivery systems like you're talking about. The inhalation through smoking is definitely desired by a lot of patients. The vaping is sort of like a supplement for them, I think, at this point, and it's something that definitely provides some relief and is extremely effective. We work with tinctures pretty regularly, but with regard to the medical program, it doesn't seem to be a very popular delivery system just within the medical program, although it's extremely popular through hemp and CBD, as we can see in the public. It can be overwhelming, and part of that is sitting down and having the conversation like we're having right now, where we can say it is going to be a process. We don't sugarcoat it for people purposely. You, through your own experiences, I'm sure you appreciate talking to somebody that can give you guidance without fluffing it up for you, and just telling you this is how it is. The process itself, getting certified, isn't as complicated as people think it is. The complication or the challenge comes after, when you're trying to figure out
that's the easy part, right? Yeah, getting your card.
Getting someone certified. Now, I will say this, and this is an important note that I talk to clients before they even make an appointment, and I let them know who you go to makes a difference. And depending on the person you're getting certified by, you're going to have a different experience, whether that be, going in several times to meet that provider before you even get the certification, tests, procedures, other things that are recommended prior to getting certified. And then some are like what you were referencing earlier, where it's literally a phone call, 20 minutes, you get your document and you're good to go. It really runs the gamut. So where we are is, I would say, somewhere in the middle, but our emphasis is really on the care for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
The understanding and the education will help facilitate the process as simply and efficiently as possible. now with the change, I mean, the original question was about the changes in New York State. I know we went off on a little tangent, but with that being said, qualifying conditions aren't going to be a thing anymore. So that opens up a world of possibilities, you know, a provider being able to make a recommendation based on their clinical judgment, you know, that's a huge turning stone.
Yeah, let's reiterate that. So we used to have a whole list of qualifications that you had to meet. So now the provider is going to be able to judge if they feel medical cannabis could benefit you and just certify you, no matter what.
And the key, there's one diagnosis or condition that comes to mind that is often overlooked, which is just simple anxiety that previously you weren't able to get certified for unless you presented with PTSD related symptoms. You know, PTSD was the only qualifying psychological condition. So now that anxiety could be opened up, like severe anxiety, you know, I mean, it could be detrimental for people. And cannabis can be really effective. So it's something that I'm happy about. You know, it's a big change or a little change that has big effects down the road, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the most meaningful for me because of the lobby efforts that I've gone through with, you know, trying to get us improvements. This was always something that I went for. Always shared the story of one gentleman with Tourette's syndrome. It helps him. It's incredible what it does for him. Wasn't on that list. And, you know, I would always share that story with legislators. So, you know, I'm excited about this part, but can you do it yet? Or you still have to wait for the state to give you permission?
So that we're in this like in between period right now where that is the law that was passed, but the systems haven't been updated yet. We're still working off the Department of Health commerce system as far as like what the certifiers are using to actually complete the process. So once they change it over, that's going to probably be when it happens. As far as I know, none of that has changed internally with the process yet.
Yeah, so we're still waiting for that Office of Cannabis Management to really fully get up and running yet and get our, you know, they have to staff that. They have to get their appointed people, and we're all kind of holding our breath, waiting for that to happen too, and see who gets in there.
We're
continual changes. You know,
it's a huge effort, you know, because they have to do the medical program. They're managing a lot on top of basically moving an entire system over to a brand new office. So I'm curious to see how it plays out.
You know, one of the things too, people say, why should I bother getting a medical card now that my state has adult use? I know those answers. What do you guys say?
Oh yeah, here.
I mean, the number one that I would say is, you know, the ability to grow your own medicine. You know, I feel that is so important for individuals who can't afford, you know, to buy product, and or maybe can't get there. You know, being stuck in a remote area, you know, and then be able to craft it to your need. You know, and being able to find, you know, being able to find that strain that plant that really helps you the most. And so I think, you know, to me, that's the number one reason to get a medical card, to be involved in the medical program is that ability to grow your own medicine. It's so impactful, it's so important.
Of course, the adult use can grow too.
The big difference though is that within the next few months, medical patients are going to be able to do it, and the adult use is going to be quite
Sure.
So, and people are starting to recognize that. We actually started our own workshop here, working with a person who has expertise in this area, and we're helping people understand how to cultivate their own medicine at home, practically, simply, efficiently, because that's what people want to know. I mean, people.
Yes.
The number one complaint about the medical program in New York State is the price tag on products. So this is a relatively easy solution to that for a lot of patients that have the logistics and the ability to grow their own.
So you'll be helping with guidance. You're going to have those programs too on how to grow, how to create your own medicine.
We already are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we actually finishing our first one tonight is our last class of the first round of, it's called Cultivate Cannabis. a practical guide to growing your own medicine. It's a beginner class. The goal being, how do you grow one cannabis plant for yourself, personally, medicinally, soup to nuts, start to finish.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, because that is absolutely needed. A lot of people may know, about using cannabis, or consuming it, but not that growing part can be really scary. Especially when it's your medicine, and you want to, it's all valuable. So
yeah.
The one
The
thing.
other thing, I'm sorry, to build on what James was saying, because that's my number one thing as well, is that first and foremost, access to the ability to grow your own medicine early, because we're talking about almost a 2-year gap between the legal ability to grow for patients and adult use
Good point.
clients, But the other thing is, for me, and I think James would agree with this, we come from a hospitality background, as I said earlier, and consistency is the number one thing in the hospitality industry that will make or break you. And from a consistency standpoint, it tends to be more so in that way with the medical program. And you have access to just very clear, consistent product across the board. And for patients that are really concerned about what they're putting into their bodies, that's kind of the best option at the moment on the table, because whatever you're buying currently on the legacy market, or if you're growing even at your own home in experience, you're not going to get the quality and the consistency that you're going to get from the medical program other ways.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the caregiver part is really important too. And I assume you can work with caregivers as well, because, and caregivers can grow and do this for more than one patient now with the new laws. So that's going to be a huge game changer when it comes to, if you're disabled and you can't grow, but you need that cost savings, you can get, we can get caregivers out there, and they can grow for medical patients. You're not going to have to pay the high taxes on the rec side if you're a medical patient. So that's a huge savings right there, as well as what you said. It's standardized, what you're getting with that. Hopefully it's always going to stay high quality, we're assuming. So, and there's pharmacists at the, I'm listing them all for you, David, because,
There's
I do believe
more.
in the medical,
There's tons more, and everything you're saying, yeah, there's a lot of benefits to the medical program. And a lot of people might think, along the lines of the question that you asked, like, what do I need a medical card when I can just get adult? I can legally consume cannabis right now. You can't legally grow it or purchase it at the moment, but it is legal to have it in New York State in public, which is a weird place to be. There's another aspect to this that we haven't talked about yet too, which is employment. And in New York State, this is like a hot topic right now. And as a medical patient, it does provide added protection for you. It's on an individual case-by-case basis. It's very specific to your situation, but 9 times out of 10, if you're a medical patient and God forbid something happens related to your employment because you're a medical patient, you have some added protection for yourself, which is, that's huge.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, how, if our listeners would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Through our website, you can fill out our form that's all over on the website on the homepage. That's an easy way to get a phone call from either me or James, and we can talk about access to Flowered Wellness. We're available through Instagram or Facebook at Flowered Wellness or at Flowered Health and Wellness, respectively. And we're very responsive there as well. Feel free to follow us and keep updated on our events. And we have a lot going on this summer. June 26th, actually, we're going to be having a larger event at our space and trying to just show people what we're doing here. We're all about the community, and we want to bring people in and have them understand about the health and the wellness and the beneficial side of cannabis consumption and how it's benefiting a lot of people already. We can grow with it.
Oh, perfect. And it's floweredwellness.com?
Yes, the website is floweredwellness.com. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we'll try to add all the links in there. So when we share this, well, thank you both so much for sharing. And, you've got a very unique service there with the concierge and the guidance and, taking care of your community and state patients that really need you. So I appreciate what you're doing, and I do need to get out and visit you soon, but as always. All right.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. Thank you for this opportunity, and we love talking with you always. And the cannabis community has been great to us, and we're really happy to, you know, have a relationship with them and with you. And definitely, we would love to have you out here anytime.
Absolutely. And hope to see you in the community more often too. So yeah.
Definitely. We're growing leaps and bounds, and the more we grow, the more people we'll be affecting and working with, and the more capabilities we'll have. So we'll definitely be interacting more in the future.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining as well. And if you're not a member of our community, you know, visit the website. It's www.thecannabiscommunity.org. Join our state communities, you know, and enjoy what education we can bring to you, and follow us on social media. And everybody have a wonderful afternoon, and till next time. See you guys later.
All right. Thank you.